So do you know anyone that went and stood in the rain at Penrith Park or?
I know a few people that are pretty wild. Hey, I think we're about to start, bro. Hello and welcome to another episode of the NRL podcast. Thanks you once again for joining us. To everyone that's here live, it's always a pleasure to be spending the afternoon with you guys, talking about footy, talking all things Bulldogs, all things rugby league, and another very, very warm welcome to my co-host Dibbo. How you doing, Mr. Dargans?
Look, I decided to put on the red V because this week they're missing from Brisbane, so I just didn't want anyone to forget about them. Incidentally, about 4:05, I was checking my email inbox, and one thing I realised, how come I got an email from Cronulla Sharks announcing their lineup? Geez, this Dragons club's useless. It took me about 45 minutes waiting outside here, the studio, to realise we had the bye, and I was like, yeah, okay, now I'm glad I got my jersey. Just so we're not missing from Magic Round, even though we don't perform at Magic Round, so we might as well just not play at Magic Round any other year.
So two things I need to ask there, right? I just need to ask you something. Why the hell are you getting, emails from the Sharks about their lineup? No one cares about the Sharks. I don't even think the Sharks care about the Sharks.
I'll explain how that came about. I wasn't the only one, but last year on Twitter, I remember a lot of people were blowing up. Somehow a lot of people got subscribed to receiving mail from the Sharks. I just haven't unsubscribed since because I never opened their emails, to be honest. I should just unsubscribe.
Yeah, probably. No one really cares about the Sharks. And the other thing is...
They are top of the league.
The Sharks?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I gotta be honest. I gotta be upright. They had a very good game against Melbourne, and I was impressed, especially without Nico.
Imagine beating Melbourne, no halfback. That means anyone can beat Melbourne.
Bro, they played a big game. I tell you what, that Tom Hazelton, what an absolute freak.
Does he get a run for New South Wales?
Honestly, I don't think he wouldn't be out of. He wouldn't look out of
Mate,
line.
he's playing.
There.
He's in my side. I'd even probably start him. He's a big unit.
We just want to give a big hello to Jamie Teasdale. Welcome back, bro. Wise Up TV. Thank you guys for joining so much. And John Pierre Tarabay. How you going, John?
Up the wires, and hopefully we can get. Hopefully you boys can start winning.
Man, honestly, the Wires are the Kennels' second team, so we're hoping that the Warriors can find some form soon, and they can be back where they were last year. How's your weekend? How's the game, Dibbo? Dragons finally won again.
Yep, they were playing a South Sydney side missing 13 first graders, so essentially it was South Sydney reserve grade plus Latrell, plus Cody, plus Cook, plus Kolamatangi. So they pretty much only had 4 regular first graders, and the Dragons got home by a nose. I think it was three tries from kicks. So, yeah, very underwhelming performance from the Dragons.
Look, I was interesting. I saw Ben Hunt show some passion, show some fire. I remember just before they were walking out, he gave a serving to Sully. Big dad energy right there, and I felt on the field when it was Lomax wanting to challenge. He gave him a bit of a serving, telling him I'll make the decisions. I thought that was really good, to be honest.
Yeah, bloody oath. That was good. On halfbacks and halves. It was a rain-soaked Cogra. I think the attendance was about 7,000 and something.
Look, the weather was poor, man.
It was absolutely horrendous. Like, I thank the Souths fans. If about a couple of thousand didn't come out, I think the crowd would have been about probably 5,000 or barely 6.
Yeah,
they really propped up the crowd.
But it was cold. It was windy. It was wet. You made the trek there.
Yeah,
you absolute warrior.
I went there.
What a warrior, boys! Can you believe this guy actually went to the game? Did you go with anyone?
No, I went by myself. I stood on
absolute warrior. I
stood on the hill behind the back post on the southern end. Just observing. I actually want to keep an eye on halfbacks. So I was actually interested to see Cody Walker. So
if Darcy's the number one Bulldogs fan, this bloke right here is the number one Dragons fan.
No, there's a guy.
This guy is number one Dragons fan.
I'll tell you the number one Dragons fan is. There's a guy that goes by the name of Agro the Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell you stories about this guy for hours. Anyway, not today, but I stood there, observed Cody Walker, and you know what? It just seemed that he was marshalling his troops, talking to each player. He's a very busy half. There's more than, he really goes above and beyond just organising the lineup.
He's been out of form though, man.
Yeah, but
he's been out of form so much recently. Like Troy cops a lot of this shit, and fair enough.
I don't agree. I don't disagree with you there, but I was just watching him. He was going from player to player, giving instructions, revving him up, helping him up.
No, that's what you need.
I'm just watching it. Like, I've been watching to detail a lot of halves this year. He's one of the halves that really goes from player to player more than any other, I find. There's halves out there that won't do that. I don't see your half doing that.
I think Luju Hutchison, that's the only thing he tries to do is to marshal, because in terms of the actual gameplay, I feel like the only thing he's got is a bit of a tackle in him.
He's getting the results. I mean,
I mean, look, sorry.
Yeah.
We're not getting the results, but I do want to say something. Racism has sort of come up again when it involves two of our Indigenous players.
Anyone that comes up and has a whinge that, where's the evidence in that? They are essentially defending any notion of racism. So it's like they want it to remain there. Anyone caught doing racism at games should get a life ban. I don't care. No 5-year ban or fine. Life ban. Don't want to see them again. Small men don't deserve a spot.
When have any of the Indigenous players ever been found to be lying about racism or someone being racist to them? They're not lying.
There's nothing to be gained from lying. So I'll take that fan's word anyway. I mean, I'm sure we've all been to games. We've heard some racial vilification come from someone.
100%.
You know, so life ban. It's the only way going forward. We don't need them there.
Line in the sand, boys. Line in the sand. I think, to be honest, like me personally, like, I just don't get it. Like, have you not been raised well enough to be able to go and, express your passion for your team in a way that doesn't humiliate, vilify, indignate, and hurt someone else? Like, how much of, like, for everyone out there, like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Are we sort of harping on about it? It just annoys me. Like, we're, like, myself, I'm Lebanese Muslim, Dibbo's Lebanese Muslim. We come from minority, and, growing up in the 2000s, we copped it a lot. Right, and we understand, and I'm sure that they also, the Indigenous players that cop it all the time, also understand. It's just not right. Like, honestly, at this time, it's just like you just need a slap. Like, just wake up, man. Just talk as much crap, talk as much shit as you want, but leave people's identity, leave people's values out of that. Like, leave what they believe. Like, they're Indigenous. They're proud to be Indigenous.
Even the talking crap part. You're an adult. Like, grow up for once.
No, but I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about the banter. I love the banter.
Oh, the banter's fine.
That's what I mean.
It's the stuff that gets vulgar. That's what I mean.
I mean, yeah. Look, I think it's just a maturity thing sometimes. John Pierre Tarabay said, just like the Israelis. What do you mean by that? If you're saying that they are racist, that they are nasty human beings, then yes, I absolutely agree with you, John. Now, Dogs v Panthers. What a game. What a game. Let me tell you, I went into this game nervous as though it was a finals game.
I didn't hear from Elmer for 2 days after the loss. He was in mourning mode, even though it was a close game.
I honestly, I was not mourning, and I was speaking to...
I left you alone. Like, you know what? Honestly, 16-10, they came back well. It was miserable conditions.
2 tries each.
Yeah, miserable
2 tries
conditions.
Each. We missed, the Bulldogs missed 56 tackles.
Scramble was good.
We only had 2 tries scored against us. Now, people are going to say, oh, Nathan Cleary went off, Nathan Cleary this, Nathan Cleary that.
But the scramble was good.
Look, the scramble was good, but also you can only play what's in front of you, right? And I thought we had a couple of... Look, refereeing was decent. I'm not complaining about the refereeing. I did think that there were a couple of tough calls against us.
Just a tough game. Tough conditions, away from home, cold, wet, windy, 16-10. I mean,
nothing to be
unless it's like
of.
minus 40 on the...
Nothing to be ashamed
100%.
Of. In
a
Penrith,
lot of clubs would kill to lose only 16-10. So, you know what? They only beat you 16-10.
In Penrith, wet weather, a very, very tough game. And I honestly think, and I don't know what your opinion is, but I thought that was the most well-rounded game the Panthers have played all year. Sure, they've beaten other teams by margins, but I thought in terms of the performance that the Panthers put in, they put in a more well-rounded performance this round than they have, because I think that we pushed them more than other teams.
I thought the Panthers struggled for the first 20, 25 minutes. You guys had them under the pump, just didn't capitalise on scoring tries. I honestly think Penrith haven't hit their straps this year. I don't know if they will. They've had continuous disruptions. They've lost players.
Cleary's out for another 8 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever will hit their straps this year. So that fourth, let's hope he comes back. I want to see him have a tilt at another fourth.
I would love them to get the 4P. I think that they're deserving of it. Like, they are literally the rugby league nursery. They, the amount of plays that they lose every single year, and they keep coming. I was very, very proud of the boys. Like, if you look at so a couple of things that I really find very interesting is that in most games, our average set distance is actually more than our opposition's more often than not.
I've pointed out this before. It's the finished product. You aren't scoring tries that you guys should. You're getting the territory, the yardage, He's a dominating stats. It's
even
the
the line
end
breaks.
product, and that's what cost you against Souths, I felt. And that's what also cost you against Melbourne, I felt as well.
100%. And look, in terms of line breaks, we were 6 line breaks to 3. Again, couldn't capitalize.
Yeah.
But it shows that we, we've got it in us to.
He's got a Ferrari of a 1 to 5 or 1 to 6.
Brilliant
So
one
it's
to
a
6.
Ferrari backline. I mean, I don't know, that 7's holding it up somehow. It's working anyway.
Mr. CBB 35 has said, whatever you think of the buys, we are 12th without ours and potentially as low as 13th if we lose this week. Still a long way to go.
No. Yeah. All right. Look, I don't disagree with him.
But I do, because if you take into account everybody else that's got the buy, right? If you take into account all the other teams that take the buy,
down.
the whole ladder shifts a lot.
course.
And to say only take the points away from us and not from everybody else on the ladder, it paints a very, very different picture.
Yeah, but where I'm saying if say you took away the bye and he's on in the 8, where it belies you guys is there was 2 games there that you guys should have had a W. You sit actually much higher than your current, or at least even if you were sitting 12th or 13th. Everyone knows he's a lot better side than 12th or 13th based on the first, 10 rounds in?
Yeah.
11 rounds.
Coming,
So I hope basically this week it does transition into a win against Canberra, and he's got a good, favourable draw for the next 5 weeks. There's no reason why he can't win the next 5 in a row. If you guys can string 5 in a row, you're looking on the fringes of the top 4, if not the top 4.
Yeah, and I also want to put into context, Mr. CBB35 said that that if we take everyone's buy away, the Dogs are 12th. And that's fair enough. But I think that context is very, very important when looking at the ladder. You can't just take it in isolation and not look at how the team's actually been performing.
Like I said, even if you took it away, if you sat 12th or 13th, it belies how good the side is actually going. Like he's had the hardest draw, in my honest opinion, to start the year. You had 2 close losses where you should have got the biscuits. It belies sitting 12. I think you guys sitting in the 8 is a fair indication where you guys are at this stage.
I think it's interesting as well. There was a Parramatta fan on Twitter. He was saying that the Dogs have had the easiest or one of the easiest runs of the competition. This was on Twitter a couple of days ago. So I think it's interesting that, Parramatta supporter was coming at us with that, saying we've had one of the easiest runs so far.
Who, Parramatta?
And they're saying the Doggies have had one of the easiest
okay. Well, how about he read out the lineup you guys have had? You've had Cronulla sitting first, Melbourne who are sitting second.
Roosters who are seeing
demolishing teams now after earlier hiccups. Who else have you guys played? Parramatta, who were sitting in the 8 till that injury ran through.
And they played very, very well on there. They came out blazing until Moses was injured.
You guys lost Souths, who had their players at that stage and their coach. In a close game, you guys should have won. You've lost Penrith, who are the 3-time defending champions. You've had Newcastle, who made the top 8 last year and are on their way up the ladder. Like, what's so easy about your run? I need to understand this.
Let's see.
If anything, Parramatta's probably had one of the easier runs.
Parramatta has an easier, but haven't been able to perform.
Anyway, hopefully,
Manly as well. I think Manly, the only good game that they've really had was against the Panthers.
Anyway, look,
great game.
We can settle this Parramatta versus Bulldogs in a few weeks, and you and Urma can also have a ring stadium aside. I'm only kidding about that part. Oh, you know what? It's not even their home ground for once. So Parramatta's not having a favourable home ground. Where is it at? Is it at Accor, or is it going to be at Belmore Sports Ground? Bring her back to Belmore Sports Ground.
I think we've already
Bulldogs
played our
versus
game.
Parramatta. Bring back the 80s.
Oh, mate, it will be fantastic.
That'll be a sellout.
And so there's a lot there, right? And the Dragons have won more games than us. Granted, you guys have won 5.
We've had the Dragons have had one of the easier runs to begin the year. South Sydney missing literally their whole virtual lineup. Manly that played horrible. Warriors at home. I don't know what
and
Warriors
have
are doing.
Been out of form so badly.
Gold Coast, who were absolutely missing for the first 2 months of the competition. So that's 4. I don't know who their 5th win against.
Was it the
someone lowly?
Titans.
No, I already said that. Tigers. There you go.
Sorry,
so
Tigers.
The Dragons have one of the easier runs. They played the Roosters. They got spanked. Who else? They played Cronulla. All right, Cronulla were horrible that game. It wasn't.
But Cronulla's it was a good win.
Cronulla won whilst playing horrible. Yeah. The Dragons have had an easier run. So don't look into that. I know they're 1 win ahead of you guys. I think they're on the same points anyway. So even if the Dogs win this week, they're same wins overall, and the Dogs are still ahead. Dogs have had one of the hardest runs, lost 2 games extra they should have won, whereas the Dragons have had one of the easier runs and haven't really beaten any difficult sides. So, yeah, it's incomparable for me anyway at this stage.
Oh, look, look, I just think that in context, I really, really think that in context, the Bulldogs have been one of the better teams in the competition. I know. Look, there's
and you know what? It's what Darcy said last week. Imagine the Dogs had won those 2 games. They should have won. It's like, wow, they'd be sitting on the 4 after, and then going into this week and the next month after with one of the easiest runs, if not the easiest run in NRL. Like it's mind-boggling.
And just in case you guys haven't seen or haven't had the time to have a look, please go and have a look at go watch the Darcy interview that we did. It's a cracking feature that we did with Darcy. It's a lot of fun. There's so much information there. It was just a great chat. While you're there, please click the like button. Just click the like button. Just press like right now. Just give us a like. Helps boost us in the algorithm. Helps gets us more people. And you know, we've had Adam Drusi, the chairman of the Bulldogs, come on. We've had Darcy McDonald, a Fox Sports journalist. And let me tell you, the lineup that we've got coming is better than what we've already had by a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, Adam Drusi was fantastic.
I can't wait. I can't wait to have our favourite redhead back on. Sorry, you're the second favourite redhead. But I can't wait till he comes back on.
We've got so much. We've got so much, and just names that I can't mention now because I've been sworn to secrecy, unfortunately, by the kennel committee, so to speak. But we have some great things coming up. How you going? So Saka, New South Wales, has said his son Mohammed Amir is a big fan. Hello, Amir. Hey, Mohammed Amir. How you doing? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a fan. We hope that we bring some joy to you guys.
What's Saka, New South Wales? What is that? Saka, New South Wales. Mohammed Ami. Okay. Moami? Mohammed.
Is it Mohammed or Moham?
I don't know. Anyway, Saka. It looks like that's, what is that? Soccer Association?
SACA. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Anyway.
Mr. CBB35. Are you saying we need to bring the captain on? The Bulldogs captain? Because
we got a Chilean soccer fan who's been trying to send me a soccer jersey, but I just want to give him a shout out. Sal, if you're watching, he's a big Bulldogs follower, so I just want to give him a Sal.
Thanks for following, man. Look, again, also just want to just reiterate how I think the Bulldogs went. Look, there are some negatives that I think that we're probably not dealing with as a team, and one of the ones is look, it's the elephant. You know, the elephant in the room. It's Hutchison. I understand why
you aren't scoring more tries.
So I want to point something out to you, right?
He's building the whole build-up, line breaks and meters gained and bashing your opponent. Tries. I want to see you guys put on 40 or 50 like every second or third week.
So here's the thing, right? If you guys obviously watched the Panthers game, one thing that killed us in the first half was their number 7's kicking game. Cleary absolutely destroyed us with his kicking. One of the kicks that he put in, very low, sort of along the ground, got it to spin, and it set up in the end goal. Off of that, they were able to score one of their tries. His kicking game was pinpoint in terms of putting the ball up and sort of landing it on a dime. The right types of kicks that we need. Sure, Hutchison can have 1 or 2 a game, but it's never sort of directed or targeted. Whereas when you look at any other team, even Atkinson from the Sharks, the young 6 that was playing there without Nico, he was able to be more pinpoint with his kicking, and that is a glaring problem in our attack. That is an absolutely glaring problem in our attack. Look, I think Hutcho is great. I think he'll be a good lock, for example. He just can't continue to be 7. Not if we actually want to make a tilt at the top 8 this year. That's where I genuinely believe we're failing.
Look, you got a few halfback options. Somebody might come out of nowhere. Something's really caught my eye in the comment section. There's a Melbourne Storm fan by the name of Zahir Badra that's saying that we're accusing the Melbourne Storm of getting the calls. Of course we are accusing of them getting the scores. They've been getting the calls from the rest for the last 25 plus years. So don't get ahead of yourself. And you got beat on the weekend by a team with no halfback. That now gives all the other sides confidence to beat you guys this year, and hopefully you guys slide out of the top 4 and hopefully out of the top 8.
But the Melbourne were also missing their half and their fullback, which is a big loss.
Don't give them an excuse.
No, I mean, to be honest, the Storm are a great team.
Throw dirt on that Melbourne Storm fan. Just came out of nowhere.
They're not the Parramatta Eels, right? So Jamie Teasdale's asked, what about Bailey to 7 for second half? I actually don't think Bailey should be in the team at all. I
think he's gone all right. I mean,
I don't think there's any problem.
I think he's need another big forward on the bench.
I don't have a problem with Bailey Hayward being there. I But I think like when you have the likes of Jake Turpin playing in reserves, you have Toby Sexton playing in reserves. Even someone like Pawasa Famasuli or someone like there are so many better options.
Is this
7?
Is this for this year or next year? Because Mr. CBB 35 is also asking the question for next year.
Look, I don't see Bailey Haywood being the number 7. I don't see him as the. I think that he if anything, he should be coming on in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, giving Marnie a rest. I think that Marnie shouldn't be playing 80 minutes. That's starting to, I think, affect some of his fitness. Even though I think he's doing much better than he was last year.
I was reading Darcy's report just today on the reserve grade over the weekend. Sexton looks like he had a day out, 22 points out of the 42, a few try assists, a few line breaks. Obviously scored 22 points. I mean, if Canterbury win the next few games, obviously he can't force his way in. But if they lose their next few games or even lose this week, he may find himself in.
If we lose this week, I think that'll be a massive disappointment. It'll be very disappointing.
I said your next 5.
Absolutely
I
disappointing.
reckon you guys can win 5 straight.
Look, I think we can win at least 3 of the 5, definitely.
Oh, look, I'd honestly be aiming higher. Like I said previously, 5 out of 6 is what you guys should be getting. Won't complain if it's 4 out of 6. You might have the odd slip, but I'd be going 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5.
On form, if we include the Panthers one after the bye, we could go 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 6, and that'll be the perfect setup into the next bye.
Of course.
But there's another glaring problem that I find that is stifling our attack, and that is Jamin Salmon. Like, I know Jamin Salmon has a lot to add in terms of defense, and actually the GM from thekennel.net.au. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go to thekennel.net.au. There's heaps of Bulldogs discussion, heaps of rugby league discussion there. So he's sort of saying that Salmon either moves to the bench or is out of the 17 entirely. I don't disagree with him. I think that you can't have Preston starting on the bench and Salmon starting in the team. I think that Preston overall is a much better player both in defense and in attack. While Salmon puts in the effort, I get it, and he's done very, very well for us. I think now it's about time that we start moving towards not just refining defense, but also increasing attack. Because you can defend all you want, but if you can't score that many points, especially when the game is so fast and so attack heavy, we're just going to be there or thereabouts, but not good enough to get to the 18. The top 8. That's my problem. But we are still averaging only 17 points conceded, which I think is, considering that we were conceding over 30 points a game last year, the fact that we're only conceding 17, almost half that, is honestly remarkable. I think it's absolutely unbelievable. Don't you guys think it's quite remarkable that we've been able to reduce the points against per week down to about 17? I just want to quickly call out a comment that Chip98 made. He said that don't get your hopes up. The Bulldogs are a team that can slip. I think the Bulldogs were a team that can slip. We are not a team that will slip. If we wanted to slip, we would have slipped by now. That's my genuine opinion. Yeah,
I look, just back on the Preston Salmon thing. Obviously, I think we're going to start seeing Preston get more game time and then get eased back into starting Sekarawa. Just with Jamin Salmon, I think he's purposely got a role that Cameron Sorolla wants him to do out there. We don't know this, but I'm starting to think he's playing how the coach wants him to play. So, and it's yielding results. Might not be what you guys like, but I know Preston, I think Preston will get a lot more game time this week.
He has to. He's been playing every game every week, and it's just all of a sudden he's out, and now he's not playing him, and he's not getting enough minutes.
I think eventually he'll just transition starting.
He has to again. He has to get back
definitely.
there. I think him on the right side, because I think that he's not bad with his passing. I think that's the thing about Preston that people don't realize is he's actually got a nice pass, a nice offload off field.
Of course he
does.
Fantastic.
He's fantastic.
And yes, Sam Hughes is doing a fantastic,
unbelievable.
And I think I called him out earlier. Yeah,
you did.
He's one of the most important players for you guys because he's one of the big middlemen in the middle that you guys are lacking. If he stays fit, if he fires, and he'll keep producing those results.
Look, I think the thing I like about Sam Hughes in the middle is not only is he big, but I feel like he's got that aggression. I feel like if he can continue to build that experience,
and he's had a bit of grubbiness about him, and I like.
He reminds me a lot of who's the Frankenstein's monster looking fella from the Roosters? Lindsay Collins. He reminds me a little bit of Lindsay Collins. Big, rangy.
Yeah, but Lindsay's not a grub. He's just.
Lindsay is a bit of a grub. He can be a bit of a grub.
I like the aggression.
But he's also very, very aggressive.
But I think Sammy's is showing more aggression than him at the moment.
which is fantastic. But I think Lindsay
what-
Collins is very consistent, and he's an amazing forward. He's an amazing prop. That for me is what I love about Lindsay Collins. So Mr. CBB35 asked, if Preston starts, does Salmon move back to being a lock? Haywood, man, are both ahead of him at 13 now. Look, I agree with you there. I think that he probably gets dropped. But I also think that, again, Bailey Haywood needs to probably make way for a prop. I think we need like a Pawasa Famasuli that can come on and just run hard for 20 minutes.
I think he hopefully gets someone that's more impact than Pawasa, I'm hoping.
I mean, Lippo, get this right. I know that Lippo Hippo will be making his debut sometime in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
Jack Todd was supposed to be making his debut.
That's another awesome.
But he's actually fractured his arm, so he's out for
That's
6
not
weeks.
an awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely, and Phil Good was talking about that as well. But Lippo Hippo will definitely be getting a shot on the bench very, very soon.
How long's Jack Todd out for?
About, I think, 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, that's
It's
ridiculous.
it's pretty.
So his earliest you'll get a debut from him is about 3 months from now.
Yeah, end of the year. But next week we do get Daniel Soluka for Figueroa back. So he's also one to look out for.
What about Zane Tedavano?
He's been playing in New South Wales Cup on the bench.
Is he starting to fire up or not really?
I
Or is
mean,
he just that's it?
He's not doing too badly, but he's not someone that you'd say anyone in the team deserves to get dropped for. That's the thing. I think that Serraldo holds very,
If
very
it was
dear.
Zane Tedavano Roosters back in the days.
Yeah, look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. John Pierre Kiriani is absolutely mauling it in New South Wales Cup, and I think he's ready to make the step up. But he did get suspended for 3 weeks for a late hit on the kicker, which is
What about? There's another glaring omission, and he keeps killing it in the reserve grade.
Who's that?
Gerald Skelton.
Oh man,
Can he run like a forward? Like, can he play in the forward?
He's
just big unit.
One of the guys on the Kennel forums actually asked, can you speak about the special project with Skelton?
And what is that?
Look, I just think that that they're worried about his defense because Serraldo is very, very much picking players on defense and not on attack.
But
That's
defense
really what it
defense
comes
wins
down
you
to.
games.
Look, defense does win you games, and the difference between last year and this year is defense.
And
really,
that's probably
all it is.
And that's where I was defending Salmon earlier. He might have a role.
Even Hutchison, like I can see from that point of view, but I also think like there comes a point where the team needs to start saying to themselves, we need to start improving our attack. And I just don't think that, Hutcho's the man. Hey, Mothman, how you doing?
Hey, Mothman.
Jamie's mentioned that Jake Averillo is leaving the Dolphins, possibly to the Dragons.
No,
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
Never.
We'll get to that in a minute. I think
Souths.
that Gerald Skelton should be given a chance in first grade, but here's the problem.
But your team's doing well. No
But
one's.
if one of the backs gets injured, right? You've got Blake Wilson there. Do you pick Gerald Skelton or Blake Wilson? Honestly, first few rounds of the year,
That's the thing. Wilson's also playing awesome.
I reckon Wilson was our best player. For the first 2-3 rounds, Wilson was our best player.
Very fast.
And someone laughed at me for saying
Has he
that.
played halves? Has he played halves?
He's
before?
fullback wing.
Okay,
Someone laughed at me on Twitter for saying that I think that Wilson has an X factor to him. Legitimately, and I didn't know why they were laughing. Because I actually think at wing, he's the type of finisher. He's the type of winger that can make something out of nothing for you. That's generally... What do you guys think about Wilson? I think he's fantastic, and I'd love to see him in the team, but who do you drop? Like, Kiraz ran for 240 meters, man, like, against the Panthers. He did a to'o on the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like, he was fantastic. Look, he did have some shocking moments where he was scared to take jump at the ball, take the ball on the full, and I think that cost us a bit of momentum and cost us some territory. But at the end of the day, like, he's not perfect, but he's still so young and so raw.
Beast.
He's fantastic. Every club would love to have someone like a Toto or a Jacob Kiraz, really.
What about Sherry? How do you go? How were your thoughts on? I thought it was a bit difficult for him in those wet conditions. The sort of player he is.
Look, I'm still very impressed with Sherry.
100%.
And I think that
hasn't missed a beat by the look of things.
I think that I think that Sherry, the more time he gets, the better he's going to be. He will pick up his speed again, just marginally, and the better the combination with Fox, I think he'll improve. Because if you look at last year, Fox was coming in a lot because he didn't trust his inside centre. Now I feel like he's got more trust in the centres that he's playing alongside in Sherry, and therefore that side isn't leaking as many points. Even though against the Tigers, I thought they were off by a little bit. But yeah, look, I think on their night, I think on the night, if we had versed any other team than the Panthers on the Friday, I think we probably would have won. I know that's a cop out, but I was very, very proud of the boys, and I thought to take the three-time champions and push them to their absolute limit, and we scored the same amount of tries that they did. For me, I think that's a win. I think that the team goes away and says, you know what, we're proving to everybody and ourselves that we can match the best. That's what I strongly believe. We've come up against. In the last couple of months, we come up against Roosters, Storm, Panthers. First half we destroyed the Roosters. Melbourne we lose by 2 points, and against the Panthers we lose by 6. And both of the games with the opposition home ground.
Don't forget, you were in it against the Sharks as well. Had a few decisions go against you guys as well. So
yeah, that so it's I think that
I'm just after seeing the Dogs' form, I'm just surprised they're 4-5.
Zatar asks, reckon Para can beat the bye this week? Firstly, Para can never beat the bye, and secondly, it's the Dragons that have a bye, not Para.
I'm starting to think Zatar is a Para fan, but anyways.
Hey! I know this individual, and he's definitely not a Para fan.
Channel E.
Make istighfar, bro. He's not a
Channel E. It's difficult because we've had many years of poor defense. I'm happy for this. Yeah, I like what he's saying here.
That's
I'm happy for this season to be defense focused to lock this expectation for future years on the money.
Great comment. Comment of the night.
One of Wayne Bennett's pet loves. Defense wins you games.
No.
Good stuff.
I appreciate that, Channel E. Like this while we have you here, please be sure to like and subscribe if you have not. Just give this video a like. It will help us in the algorithm. And as you guys see, we've got mad guests coming up. We've got so many things to release. Like we actually can't keep up with the amount of content that we're creating and that we're making. So please just please like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel. If you love the chat, if you love the content, bring everyone along that loves footy, and really appreciate your support.
I was just thinking, do you want to maybe go ahead to the lineup for this week against Canberra? Are we going to slide into Magic Round? And whilst I'm on Magic Round, I mean, all right, it's in Brisbane this year, but I'm hearing they've signed an extension to 2026. Who the hell wants to keep going to Brisbane? Like, there's other great cities around here in this country, and if we want to do it in this country, you also got New Zealand, in Auckland or Wellington. I'd happily go. Like, I'm looking forward to Magic Round either being in Melbourne or even Perth for that instance.
I was going to say Perth
or even
would be
in
so
Sydney.
Fantastic.
Huh?
I think Perth would be so fantastic.
Melbourne would be awesome too. Auckland.
I think it'd get packed out too.
Why isn't it in Auckland? Like, why in Brisbane again? Well, there's nothing in Brisbane besides the Brown River.
Look, I understand that they make a lot of money from it. I think they do make a lot of money from it. But I think with the Perth bid coming to fruition, I think that the amount of hype you will build by taking Magic Round there would be phenomenal.
And I think we got
to talk about as well with the NRL announcing X, Y, and Z team potentially coming. We've got some.
And then they want a 20th team, so that would probably be the Adelaide Jets.
Wouldn't it be great?
I was thinking the Perth Jets, but Perth Bears.
Bears is fantastic. I think Perth
and then
Bears
Adelaide
has a mad
Jets,
ring
maybe
to it.
Newtown Jets can set up for Adelaide.
Absolutely, man.
I think Newtown want to initially set up for Perth, but man, I will take the Adelaide Jets. They got a fan base here in Sydney, and then
but it's also about the financial commitment. So the Perth has a big financial commitment. PNG has $600 million commitment from the.
And you'll get one in Adelaide eventually.
You reckon we will?
It has to be a national. We had the Adelaide Rams.
I'm with you. I want to see an Adelaide team. I want to see a Perth team. I would love to see another Melbourne team in 20 years' time. But it just.
I think in 20 years' time we'll eventually get a Northern Territory team in Darwin.
I don't think Darwin can sustain it. I think it's.
Darwin,
it's not getting into
Northern Territory got more juniors in rugby league than Melbourne does.
Hey, John Pierre said Brisbane and their Friday night games every round. I agree with you, bro. Look, I agree with you. I hate Brisbane almost as much as I hate Parramatta.
There's an explanation behind that. News Limited owner, man.
Bloody News Limited.
They got a big stake in the game. So
last named man says Brisbane needs something. Damn you for not wanting it there. Listen, man. Brisbane can go to heck. That's what I say. I'm not going to say hell. It's not to upset you, but Brisbane can go to heck. That's what I think. But yeah, guys, please make sure you like this video. Just it helps us out a lot. Now, the the lineup. So
Yep. Let's roll through it.
the team has not changed. Cameron Terraldo.
Sorry for the anticlimax, guys.
Cameron Terraldo has named a unchanged team. I do think there'll be changes. Honestly.
What about Canberra? Has Canberra got their halfback yet?
So,
Fogarty?
No, Fogarty's out indefinitely. They've got Ethan Strange and KO Weeks at 6 and 7.
KO Weeks had a whale of a game in that second half against Manly.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Excuse me. They do get Jordan Rapana back.
Jordan Rapana.
I think Rapana will be a big addition to them.
What's the weather like this weekend for Brisbane?
I haven't
Last
really
year
looked
was
at it.
miserable. Remember that?
And they've got a big bench. So they've got Tom Starling,
Pasami.
but then they've got Atta Mariota, Trey Mooney, and Emre Gula on the bench.
Trey Mooney's on the market, isn't he?
Oh, I think Trey Mooney might be on the market. He might be one that
He
the
might
Dogs
be
are looking
moving
at.
to Belmore soon. You know, back on an Avrilo, what doesn't Cameron bring him back to play half? He was half there before, and I thought he was good. He offers more. Anyways, that's just my opinion.
Central Sydney Wolves Soccer Club has said he's watching this with his son Shaquille. Hey Shaquille, how you doing? Thank you so much for watching us. Please give this video a like
Central
if you like
Sydney Wolves Soccer Club. Where the hell is that?
Zatar
Somewhere in the middle.
Zatar saying it's going to be wet for Friday night.
So we got a soccer club watching us.
Yeah,
Nice.
welcome to everyone. So it's a big team. Why don't we bring Avrila back? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
No,
why
it's
don't we
just
bring Avrila back? Look,
I think he's going to South.
if
Bennett's coming back.
If they were going to bring him back, they wouldn't have never let him go. I don't think that Avrila
Souths are lacking centres in their attack. I think we go to Souths. Why would you go to St George? I mean, I'd love to have him there, but even I'll tell him not to go there.
Honestly, I think honestly he's a fantastic player. I honestly have felt that he hasn't really found his groove at the Dolphins yet. But look, he went up there to be under Wayne, and this is Wayne's last year, so he may not like Christian Wolf. Who knows? Who knows what the situation is? So, but anyway, so on the bench, so the team is as named, and on the bench we've got Haywood, Curran, Curtis, Moran, and Jacob Preston. I don't know if that team stays as named. I don't see Pawasa Famasuli coming in.
No.
But potentially,
You got Sexton and Taft there. Okay, one of them is Serp, Drew Hutchison, a halfback.
Look, you would like to think so, but I don't think, personally, I don't think they're going to make any big changes this week. Otherwise, we would have seen, Taft playing 7 in the New South Wales Cup. So I think it's going to stay as is. Even though I would love to see another prop there, just one more prop. Preston doesn't offer the size that we need to play in the middle. But
it's crazy. You don't have any front rowers on the bench, and you guys are still producing.
But Josh Curran is like a one-man prop.
You guys
one-man
keep
bench.
producing the results. It's
fantastic.
mind-boggling. Who's eating the meters for you guys? Oh, wait. Jacob Kiraz, Bronson Sherry.
They're
2 extra front rowers.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Amazing. And you got Connor Tracy at the back, another workhorse.
I think the one player that has sort of killed us against from the Raiders recently has been Rapana and Hudson Young. I feel like we sort of struggled to contain them last year. Do I reckon we can contain them? Oh, absolutely. I think that we'll be able to frustrate them and choke them out of the game, and we'll put on a decent score. I don't know if it's going to be third like the Knights game, but I do think that we will win comfortably. I do think we'll win comfortably, and it may be. Oh, and also Timoko. I think Timoko is one of those ones.
Oh, he's a powerhouse.
You just got to look. You just got to make sure that.
Well, I think he's got a good match up against either Crichton or Sherry.
It's against Sherry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's against Sherry. So I think it's all right though. I don't think that there's too much to be worried about. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Dogs take the biscuits this week against the Raiders? What's your call?
I'm going to go Dogs by bloody Canberra. What a bogey team. I'm going to go Dogs by 8. I like to say 14, but I'll go by 8.
That's not a bad call. I think that Raiders are a very, very determined team.
They came back and beat Manly. That was just...
Manly's been very, very disappointing with the teams that they've got. Like, if you look at like...
Somehow they're in the 8 still.
Yeah, look, they haven't had a tough run. I don't think they've had a very tough run. Jamie Teasdale saying that Max King is underrated. Look, I agree. I think that he could easily slot into the New South Wales team and kill it.
Oh, one of our fans, Ibby Dib, is based on the sunny coast. I did read he was cutting a 7-acre lawn earlier on. Did you read that comment?
Well, yeah, at the sunny coast.
He was complaining. He was
one day go up to the sunny coast and have a podcast there.
Yeah, I'll have to go up there.
You know what we have to do next year? We have to go to Magic Round, wherever it is, and have the podcast at Magic Round. That would be incredible. That would be magic. That's what I reckon.
Yeah,
Maybe we can go up with some of the fans together and plan it. That would be pretty sick.
Keep me out of it.
That'd be sick. Now, I want to talk about the Blues.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to talk about the Blues. I need to talk about the Blues, man. There is a lot happening. There's been a lot of chatter on Twitter and across the sort of NRL sphere about who should be chosen on the bench for New South Wales, who should be their starting prop, so on and so forth.
There was a meme going on during the week and it made me laugh. I think, remember when Stephen Bradbury won that
for
the ice skating at the I think it was Nagano? I can't remember which one.
Wasn't it Olympics?
Yeah, it was Olympics. It was one of those Winter Olympics. I think it was Nagano.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Or Salt Lake, I can't remember. But everyone fell over. He was literally about...
He was fifth.
He was out of it. He was never going to get a place. He was probably 10 seconds behind. Everyone crashed over. The guy literally went through at snail's pace and won. So there's a meme going around. Luke Brooks' head's plastered on Steve Bradbury. And then you got Cleary. Hines is in the crowd for some reason. You got Cleary and every other half that's just...
Adam Reynolds and things.
And they're all falling over. So, I think your halves are going to be Luke Brooks and, drumroll, Matt Burton.
No way.
I think that's all be half.
Is there something wrong with you today?
Why?
Did you hit your head or something? You think Luke Brooks and Matt Burton are going to be the halves for New South Wales?
Of course they are.
Sorry, guys. I think something's happened to Dibbo.
What? Tell me, aren't they going to be the halves?
So Nico Hines, it was precautionary.
Is he playing?
So it's only precautionary. He'll be back next week.
Oh, so he's not out. Okay.
No, so he's not out. The other one is there's still Luai there, who I think could do a job. There's Burton that I think could do a job.
Yeah.
Right? So they're your options even before you start looking at Brooks, who I think...
All right, but you know what? If you narrow down your options, they're your 4 options. Burton, Brooks, Hines,
Cody
Luai.
Walker's been in horrible...
I just said your 4
form.
options. I'm not putting him in there.
Yeah, but I think Cody Walker could be one if
I'll tell you now, if Cody Walker was a Queenslander, he'd definitely be in the calculations.
Look,
that's how Queensland would do.
His form is poor and he buckles under pressure.
But that's Queensland.
He buckles under
They
pressure.
used to stick and pick.
What about the props? Who do you think is the back? What do you think? Who goes fullback? Tedesco? Well, at this point,
I thought it was time to give Dylan Edwards a run, but I mean Tedesco's playing okay, so I mean they never win with him at fullback, but they'll still choose him because there's always been this favouritism for Roosters
I
players.
disagree. I disagree.
No, it's called the New South Wales Roosters.
Look,
there's always been a favouritism for Roosters.
I think that Edwards will go up another level.
I want Edwards. I personally
want
Edwards. I do. I think it's time to give him a run. Tyler will definitely be one of my wingers.
I think Tyler will be one of the wingers. I think Addo-Carr needs to be the other one.
The Porsche will be the other, which is Addo-Carr. My second rowers.
What about your centres?
Yeah, Latrell.
No, I think Crichton and Ramian. That's who I think Madge is going to go with.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I've not got no complaints, but I think Trell is just unbelievable at centre. There's no better centre in the game if you put him there.
I reckon he'll kill it at centre, to be honest. I think he'll do very well.
That's a good shout. Crichton and Ramian. Ramian's just a tank.
I think Ramian's a tank. But then you've also got Bradley Best, who had a great game on the weekend.
I think you'll get and then Katoni stays. A hard one from there.
But good options.
Centre's going to be hard.
Good at it to
Props, Payne Haas, probably Hazleton.
No. So I reckon starting props have to be Haas and Yuto Ikamanu. It has to be Haas and
all right, so you might get Hazleton off the bench.
Hazleton, McInnes have to be on the bench.
My starting second rows will be, if he's fit, Murray.
No, Murray's injured.
Oh, he's not going to play?
No.
Jeez. All right, Angus Crichton's definitely one of them.
Crichton?
And I'll probably go, I don't know if I'm missing anyone, but Olakawatu would
has
be
to be. Olakawatu.
Kalamatangi's been down this year for some reason.
Crichton, Olakawatu.
And Yo will be
Yo as 13.
Yo will be
on the bench. I think you have...
Hooker will...
Has to be Arpi.
Yeah, it'll be Arpi. And then I think if you're going to get someone to relieve, it would be Robson from the Cowboys.
No, I actually think you put McInnes on the bench at 14.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
McInnes, Hazleton.
He deserves his run.
Oh, I think he deserves his run. I think that...
Who'd be your 16 and 17? You get one of the Saifidis, maybe? Was there another front row?
I reckon Turbo will be there. I reckon they'll definitely
on the bench.
I think they'll have Turbo there as a relieving prop.
No. Oh, you mean
Jake.
No.
Jake Jaboyevich.
Please,
I'm not saying I want that. I'm saying that's what I think Madge is going to do.
I hope not.
I'm
praying.
And then I think Chip 98 actually made a really good call. He said Zach Lomax on the wing.
Yeah.
Not a bad call, man. I think not a bad call.
No, but I can't see what I don't see why you wouldn't run with Brian Tuttle and the best finisher in the game, Josh Addo-Carr. I mean, I don't see why you would.
What about Moses in the halves?
Well, why not Jacob Kiraz? He can get a run as well.
Look,
Mitchell Moses, he's another one, but when's he back? That's the thing.
He's
I saw him on Friday night in the lifts. He was with Billy Slater. He looked fine. This was at CommBank Stadium. I went to that game as well to watch Parramatta lose. So good news, guys. I went there for the loss.
So on the bench, I would have. I think that Jackson Bowler can still, Junior Bowler can still perform over there. But
I think the pace has gone beyond him.
Yeah.
Sam Hughes might be a smoky, but I like the look of Tom Hazelton coming off the bench.
I think Tom Hazelton on the bench
and
would be
one of the big
fantastic.
boppers from Newcastle. Does Leo Thompson qualify for New South Wales from the Newcastle Knights?
That's actually a good question. I'm not sure if he does, but he'll be great to have. I think he'll be very, very good to have. Look, we've got a couple of injuries in the props. I mean, Regan Campbell-Gillard potentially.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have him at prop. But look, I think one of the Saifidi brothers, or if Spencer Leniu shows form, I think he could be a smoky on the bench as well.
Yeah.
So you'd have
He had a nice rattling run last week.
Yeah, McInnes, Hazelton,
that first
Gerbo and Leniu. I think that's a powerful bench.
Did you see his first hit up last week?
The guy takes no steps
I'd have him.
back.
Yeah, give him a good month. I want him there.
I think it'd be great.
That's
there.
a good pickup.
I think that'd be
Very good
great
pickup.
there.
They need impact. They don't need people like Jake Trebojevic in the team. Please, no. This is not Brad Fittler choosing.
I don't think Jake Trebojevic should be there, but we also.
I hope not. Origin Arena is.
But he's always performed for us in Origin.
Not really.
He's always performed for us in Origin.
He's just gotten the credit for doing nothing, really.
So, Mr. CBB 35 saying Thompson played for New Zealand. It's a good shout.
Oh,
Guys,
okay. Thanks for that.
If you just joined us, please give us a thumbs up. And like the video, please subscribe.
Somebody put in a good point, Josh Curran. Yeah, I reckon he can cut it in
Josh
Origin.
Curran will be fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks,
How
Valerio.
did we miss? Thanks, Valerio. Also, I want to say, Valerio, love your comments about how the ref was biased against us. I don't necessarily agree. He was completely biased against us, but there were calls on that game that went against us. So thank you so much. I wanted to point that out. Valerio.
Has Brayley earned these stripes? Rob Ramsey, you never know. I haven't really
over McInnes.
I haven't really noticed Robson.
No,
I haven't really noticed Brayley this year at all.
No, not over
I don't know.
McInnes.
I mean, leave it for match.
McInnes makes 70 tackles a game. He's always there. He scores some important tries, and he's ugly.
I'm just curious to see this team anyway.
It'll be a very, very, very interesting team. Now, what do you guys think on the bench? So we said McInnes, Hazelton, Leniu, and Gerbo. Who else do you guys think should be there on the bench for New South Wales? And do you guys agree with the starting props of Haas and Stefano Utoikamanu? Now,
I'd go Blake Laurie. I'm only kidding. Anyway, can't believe he said he's aiming for it.
Bro. Or do you think the Saifidi brothers? Do you think the Saifidi brothers?
They're not getting enough game time. I think are they in new clubs? No,
but no. You know what? After the Dogs game, Adam O'Brien probably gave him a rocket up the ass because they've been performing.
But he's hardly been playing them.
No, they've been playing.
He's got that
30
many,
minutes each.
You know what? He's got that many props at his disposal. How the hell did we touched on this topic before, like Cronulla? How the hell are they managing to re-sign all these props?
I actually think that they'll lose.
I think one of them or both of them need to go find new clubs.
I think that I think that the Sharks will lose a couple of their forwards.
So should Newcastle. There's just too many front rows there. They should go elsewhere for an opportunity. Saifidi brothers for me are both 60-minute players. Sometimes they're not even getting 30. Anyways, that's just my opinion.
Now, there was some news that was released throughout the week by Peter V'landys and the NRL about having two new teams potentially over the next 7 years. So one will be PNG, and apparently that's set to sort of be introduced in the next 3 to 4 years, and then a Perth team in 2030 based on the Perth Bears. So merger of the North Sydney Bears and Perth.
Honest, besides PNG being political, I see no reason to have them there. That's my honest opinion. Yes, for Perth. Eventually, we do need an Adelaide team, and I wouldn't have minded a second New Zealand team.
100%.
I can't believe the government wants a PNG side. All right, you give them $600 million, and then what?
Sorry. I need to mention, I have to call this out. Moe Guns has said, what about Barnett from New Zealand on the bench? What a call out. I take that back. Gerbo doesn't get a spot. Barnett gets a spot on the bench. Because then you'll have.
Does Adam Fanua-Blake put his hand up?
Adam Fanua-Blake plays for New Zealand.
No, he plays for Tonga.
Oh, does he? Oh, then he can't play for...
Yes, he can. They're still considered T2.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Could he? Oh, well, that's an interesting question. That's an interesting point. Barnett, but I think Barnett from New Zealand absolutely deserves a go. I think he's been fantastic for New Zealand for a couple of years. But yeah, so they're talking about expansion. Now, one of the teams they're saying is PNG. I understand the want for a PNG team. I just don't get it. I think that after that $600 million of funding from the government runs out, or if a new government is elected, what happens to that funding? What if they pull the funding out from underneath?
I just get this feeling of the sentiment from the bipartisan crowd here in Australia. A lot of them don't want. Everyone's just mind-boggled. Like PNG is not a good feeling about it. I mean, sure, there's a good feeling about having a 18th, 19th team and then eventually a 20th team. Everyone's just like out of left field. All right, I'm sure let's see how it goes. But I thought we would have got preference for a Perth side first, and then maybe another Brisbane side, and then maybe another New Zealand side or an Adelaide side and PNG. All right, let's see how it goes. You might as well have an Indonesian team after that.
It's interesting because PNG isn't even based. The team won't be based in the PNG. It'll be based either in
North Queensland
or Cairns.
So. What, you might as well have the PNG Hunters in the Queensland Cup then?
Yeah, look, I mean...
So what's the point of having a PNG side if not... Are they going to play any games in PNG?
I think they'll be playing a few games in PNG, but see the thing.
So what's the whole go?
But the government, when you look at the government website, it says be careful when traveling to the PNG because of safety issues and stuff. So it's like,
what's the point of having a PNG side?
I don't like. I understand that.
Is it a gateway for the New South Wales government? I mean, sorry, Australian government to say, okay, to the we'll give you a side. We get a free passage to your resources. Thank you very much. Here's 600 million, and we'll pocket the 100 billion.
Yeah, look, I think that's
in a joint venture.
I think that's the problem. I think that's what
you're
bringing the politics into the game. Yeah, absolutely. You're bringing the politics into the game, and I just don't think it's...
You might as well have another Queensland side if you're going to base them in Queensland.
I agree with that.
Sorry, but no.
Yeah.
They're going to base them in Cairns. It's pointless.
So, Rob Ramsey and Mitchell Smith, how you doing, guys? Thank you so much for joining. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to us. They're saying that Adam Fanua-Blake played one game for New Zealand. Therefore, it doesn't qualify.
Thanks for that, Mitch and Rob.
Really, really appreciate that. And as Mr. CBB35 is saying that it's geopolitics to combat Chinese influence in the Pacific. Spot on.
Oh, yeah, I know about that. I mean, anyways, I don't want to go there.
AMKB saying back in New Zealand, where should the second team be based in New Zealand? I reckon the South Island. They've got a bid there. They've got the commercials starting to be set up.
I hope he doesn't get upset because you know what? Yeah, either Wellington or South Island, definitely in the Christchurch area, Canterbury.
Yeah, Christchurch.
But Wellington's got
Dunedin even. I think Dunedin is pretty big.
That's that whole Christchurch.
Yeah.
That's the South Island.
Yeah.
But I think Wellington's already got a big base as well.
Look, I think if you put a second NRL team in New Zealand, what it does...
You want one on the South Island,
as Mr. CBB has mentioned, he's come up with some cracker ones this evening, is, it will really kill Super Rugby. And look, I 100% agree with you. I think that you put a second rugby league team in New Zealand and you take a majority of their supporters, right, and you bring them across to rugby league, because it's not a high transition.
So on the South Island, yeah.
Oh, it'd be so good. You could just have the whole New Zealand enveloped in rugby league. And you've got a whole... The thing is, the nurseries that you have, the investment from the government, the investment from corporate sponsors, the amount of games that you could play. Like, you can imagine the derby, the New Zealand derby of rugby league. The Warriors against, I don't know, whatever.
I think, what's funny? Going back to the rugby union competition, a few years back, or I think during COVID, they had a state of origin. I think it was North Island versus South Island. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was mad.
That was sick.
I'd love to see the New Zealand Rugby League have something like that again. But obviously, for that to happen, they'd probably have to establish a team on the South Island and then eventually grow their junior base. They already got juniors there, but...
And there's a South Island bid already that's got a chairman and they've got money. So
I think at one stage, Reading, this is going back when...
Mr. CVV35 said Jamin Salmon can be their first signing too. Speaking on expansion... Peter V'landys has come out and said that he's spoken to Wayne, and Wayne wouldn't mind sort of being the person that starts up that PNG team.
What, at the age of 85?
I think so. Yeah. Jamie Tisdale's made also a great point about New Zealand coming into the NRLW will be big. 100%. Both Adam Drewsey and Darcy
they were there before.
That it's a big thing for
COVID,
the team.
Yeah,
but COVID's sort of put it on the back burner. But it's a great point. So yeah, look, I think Perth. I'm so excited if Perth becomes one of the next teams. I would love to. I'll obviously Dogs are my team, but I would put a lot of support behind having I would go to a lot. Honestly, I would go to Perth as often as.
That'll be crazy because I'll tell you what would be crazy. You start getting. They'll get a lot of Sunday, 2:00 or 3:00 there. It will be 6:00 here, so they'll get a lot of those.
Brilliant.
And then they'll get Saturday afternoon, but then we also might end up getting a Friday 10 p.m. game, which is about 7 o'clock there.
Well, I mean, I don't think we'd do that. They'd probably
You'd go 6, 8, and 10. Oh, mate, a lot of people stay up these days.
Look, I'm with you. But
Even on a Saturday, we'd get the 9:30 game.
oh, the 9:30 game would be
Or the
cracker.
9 p.m. You go 3, 5, 7, and 9.
That'd be
It'd
nice.
6.
That'd be nice.
That's-
But I think it'll be that Sunday slot. But look, either way,
be a nice binge
either
of
way, I
rugby
just
league.
think Perth makes sense in many ways, especially if they become the Perth Bears. I think for me, as Adam Drusi was saying, Melbourne did that with the AFL did that with South Melbourne Football Club that became the Sydney Swans.
He knew something.
Brisbane
He said it
Lions.
before the press
He
release.
did, and
knew
that
something.
he knew that there was some workings on. So yeah, no, it's very interesting that came up on our podcast. Central Sydney Wolf Soccer Club saying that his Perth-based friend Osama Ma was a huge Western Reds fan. Hopefully they get an NRL team soon. Honestly, I really, really do hope that. I actually think that we could do with another Brisbane team. The Ipswich, sort of the Western Corridor in Brisbane. I think that would be a fantastic.
When's this NRLW State of Origin? Is that next week or this week?
I think it's this week. I think it may
On
be-
a Thursday or something?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Where-
3 games.
Where is that? North Sydney Oval or something?
Hang on, I'll check. NRLW State of Origin.
I saw the lineup. I think there was some notable outs or omissions.
Thursday, 16th of May at 7:45.
And venue?
I don't know where the venue is.
I reckon if they get it North Sydney, they'll sell out. I reckon they should give it a shot at the Allianz.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
Anyways.
in any case, look, it's 6 o'clock. We really appreciate everybody sticking with us. Really hope you guys have had fun. If you haven't seen the Darcy, interview, I strongly recommend you go and have a watch. It's been going great, Buster. It's just such a great.
Yeah, I enjoyed
great
that
chat
watch
with
yesterday.
Darcy.
I went on a long walk, and she's an absolute star. She knows her footy. She's well spoken. She gives insights that you hardly get from anyone. So I absolutely love
Brilliant.
that. Give it
And,
another watch.
She gives a lot of insight as well about the media and journalism and rugby league. So if there's someone that you think will be interested, be sure to share. Look, we have come to the end of the night. 6 o'clock. We really appreciate you guys sticking by us. It's been such a beautiful discussion. I love everybody. This is sort of why we started the podcast, just to interact with everybody. Dibbo and I absolutely love it. So just want to say thank you so much. Please be sure to like the video, share it with your friends. And we've got so much content coming up. Very, very quick announcement. This week we won't be having a podcast with an opposition podcast from the Raiders. I reached out to 2 or 3 of them and either got no responses or they said they weren't available. So I'm really, really sorry.
They said they were busy with tonight's budget.
Yeah.
Eye rolls. But you know what? There is something we're looking forward to next week. Rivalry round. The Dragons play the Bulldogs.
We're going to have big content
We're
on
going to
that.
have the Red V. Can I announce it?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
can.
we're going to have Jack from the Red V podcast, who also does work for Fox Sports. He'll be joining us next week.
Can't wait for
This
that.
is going to be sensational. So
It's
you
going to
get
be
Jack
2
coming
Dragons supporters against me, and they're still going to lose like the Dragons always do. Isn't that right?
on. Look,
Isn't
you know
that
what?
right?
I've realised the podcast is always buzzing after a Canterbury win, so I don't want a somber mood, I like it when the Canterbury win for you guys.
All right, bro. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. We hope to see you guys very, very soon. We're here sort of every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mark it down. And MKB Gaming Video is asking, can you ask Dibbo when will he wear his 49ers shirt?
Well, I got this 49ers shirt. Is it appropriate for wear it? Because it's got the number 38 on it. So,
What? So what?
yeah, my friend from San Francisco came back with a shirt that had number 38 on it. So,
Yeah, wear it.
anyways, yeah, okay.
Anyway, hope the Dragons can beat the bye. Hope the Eels lose no matter who they're versing. Up the doggies. Hey, Peter Bulldogs, thanks for joining. Be sure to like the video. And really, really hope you guys enjoy Magic Round and the NRLW Origin. We'll speak to you soon. Have a great afternoon. See you guys. Take care.